Okay, so what I've been working on is the front bipod of the DLT 19. Okay, this was actually made. I did a couple of shortcuts on this because it was going to take so much time. There's actually on the real ones there's a pivot down so that the thing could rotate back and forth, and this will flip down, and the pieces actually went open. So let's simplify this a little bit. What I ended up doing is this part of the barrel here. This actually steel comes in here. This is actually steel pieces. This is wood, and actually there's a slot that goes in there. What I've been able to do is I drilled into there and actually laid in a piece of 1/4 inch threaded rod and glued it in with epoxy. These are actually just pieces of 3/4 inch by 1 inch maple that I had actually, if you can actually see there, I actually had taken them on my table saw and actually cut out a groove in the center, which I guess nobody can really see, but I did it anyway. And what I ended up doing here, this is actually a piece of rod that went through, and I basically drywall screwed it. I pre-drilled and laid a drywall screw in after cutting this on the bandsaw to make it fit like that. This thing is actually a plug, a wooden plug, furniture dowel plug. Basically, you just use a Forstner bit to drill down into it. It's a 3/8 inch. Just to reinforce it, I actually took steel plate here, actually cut it out on my metal cutting bandsaw, and I folded it over. I basically bent it around a pipe, and I pre-drilled into. So this is really nice and strong. I drilled a hole through this so that threaded rod comes right through, and it's really easy to attach that there. In order to keep it from flopping around, you'll see this little noogie there. That's actually a piece of 3/16 rod that I've actually gone and welded. You see the weld right there. I welded it to the barrel itself. Then basically put it on the threaded rod, dropped it down, gave it a little tap so it made a mark, and then I just drilled it, and basically it's epoxy resin. You'll see the little feet here are just little pieces of plywood that have been shot in with a couple of brad nails. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to use EVA foam, and there's a bunch of there's a little gusset here. There's actually triangular pieces that came off the bottom to basically allow this thing to dig into the ground when the gun was shot. So I'm going to fake it because there's a lot of protection here. I'm actually going to do this out of EVA foam because it'll be fast. There's also a piece of EVA that's going to be here. There's actually a little, I think it's here. And then there's some little rings here that I'm going to make out of steel. And that should basically do it on this. You see already on this one, I've actually already painted it, so it's looking pretty good. Okay, I actually even scaled it down just slightly from my drawing because I thought it came back too far, so I thought it looked a little better that way. Okay, so that's where I'm going. That was my progress. So